right, there are more functions that we need to explore, but before we do, I really feel like it's time for us to address the patch panel that's over here. Because so many of the different demonstrations, what can be done with the pressure of the keyboard, what can be done with the hold levers, even stuff dealing with sync, oscillator sync, we need to be using this. And so I'm going to dive in, even though it seems like a thing that I would leave till the end because I'm, well, just that way. Okay. So let's dig into the joy of the modular section, the patch panel. Okay, so it's very straightforward. You'll notice that there's a set of 10 outputs right here. You know they're outputs because there's a little arrow there that's pointing away from them. That means output. So we have the output of the hold levers 1 and 2. We have the output of the key 1 and 2. Which is to say that these are just voltages, and where they are at puts out a certain voltage, and that's what goes to the output of these jacks. We have the press output, the voltage that comes out of the key pressure. We have the output from the expression pedal input. We have gates 1 and 2 that are pulsed outward from when you press the intensity keys, it sends out a gate, and that gate can be output, which has more use really in an external system, like if you're using Eurorack with this or some other system, but it can be used with our inputs. And then, of course, the ring output, which is like the keyboard voltage output, except for we have a ring. You'll notice here in this section here, that you have 2 sets of 4 and 1 set of 2 that has a circle that connects them. What we're dealing with there are the sets of 4 are multiples, which is to say you can take an output, plug the output into one of these multiples, and then the 3 remaining holes are outputs of that signal that you can place to wherever you want. Let's go to volume 1 and 2. So now, as I raise hold 1, we should hear both oscillators. So hold sends a single output voltage that increases, and that can be directed to your inputs to increase whatever that input is going to. So we could also theoretically... So let us, for example, here, let's set this to square waves, and then we will, we can connect, say, the ring, the pressure, the keyboard pressure to pulse width modulation. So what this will do is we'll raise hold, and then we'll hear both square waves. And then I will press the pressure on a key without moving the ring, and we should hear the pulse width modulation change as I add pressure to the pressure. So you can already see there's a huge amount of possibility here. We have all of these outputs, these different performance-related outputs, like both of these holds, both of these buttons, the pressure. And then we have things like, and the ring, of course. We have the output of oscillator 2, which can be sent to a variety of things. We talked about this when we were talking about oscillators. So let's do this thing that I said would happen. Let us take the output from Let us take these glasses off, first of all. Let's take the output from oscillator 2 and put it into the pitch of oscillator 1. Okay, then let's take oscillator 2, switch it to low, so it has a low frequency, and then we can listen to oscillator 1 be modulated by it. And it seems to be doing nothing. That's weird. Well, oscillator 2 output doesn't seem to do anything. Oh, that's what we're doing wrong. I still have to, this is my fault, people, sorry. We still have to activate oscillator 2. So here, I have a solution to this. But for right now, we have oscillator 1, and we're not hearing modulation, even though it's connected like it should modulate, but we also have to activate oscillator 2. But I have a solution. Let's see if this works. Let's say I don't want to activate. I don't want to have to press this button. I just want there to be modulation. Here's what I will do. I will take hold 2 and put it in volume 2. And that should make it so I only have to push one key at a time. There is a function here that if you want oscillator 2's frequency to stay so it can be effective as a modulator, you could switch this to press. And when you do that, then you press the pressure of the note you want the oscillator to stay at. So let's press something high and see if it changes the frequency. It does. So you can actually set where you want your LFO to stay, irrespective of where the pitch ring is. Obviously, we have turned off our pitch to oscillator 1, so it's only being controlled by oscillator 2's low LFO output, but you'll notice that oscillator 2 is not changing either, but if we wanted to change it, we could do something like hold the pressure somewhere down here without moving the ring, and now it should be at a different frequency. So yeah, that's what the oscillator 2 switch does, and it becomes relevant in this modular thing we are currently doing. So you have the opportunity to control, well, obviously the filter. Let's do something like take pressure and put it on the cutoff. And then we'll go back to just like a... And of course, if we wanted to mess with the filter, we'd be like... But if we wanted to have fun, we would use the keyboard pressure. Now I am pressing down. This is the point where I guess I talk about the keyboard pressure as well. You put your finger into these little divots, which help you find notes, and then press down. And although nothing is moving, it results in pressure output. Let's try a little resonance. So, and you can't do that otherwise because you have to patch the output of the pressure. It isn't directed anywhere specific. So there are many, many other things I can show you, but there's other functions I want to explore that would require me to give, too much away. So what we'll do is we'll stop here. But that is how, I should really show. Okay, let's say, let's put the ring into the inverter and put the output to the frequency of pitch 2. So if this works like I think it works, we have pitch 1. And if we play pitch 2, it's actually the opposite because we have the output of the ring going into the inverter, which is controlling the pitch of the second oscillator. So that demonstrates how the inverter works. Whatever you put into it, it's going to invert the signal, and then you can apply that as a modulation elsewhere, allowing you to have some more modulating diversity. But so yeah, there's a bunch of functions we're going to talk about, like sync, and then like the various things we can do with the hold. There's a lot that can be done. I'm going to go into those things when we're talking about specific functions in forthcoming videos. But for now, you have a patch panel that allows you to take these the functions that we have and use them to much greater extent. So we will explore that. All right, so that is the patch panel found on the Therevox ET-5.